It's Startup Alleyway right here on Village TV, and you're joined with Chris Wakeford, serial entrepreneur. Chris, welcome back to Sydney, mate. You've just come back from San Fran, London, well, across Los Angeles, London, across all those areas, and you've also been in Asia.
Yeah.
Busy man. And what he's been doing is looking at the startup industry, looking what's working, what's doing well, and I'm keen. I'm looking for some news, feedback, stories. What's happening?
Well, it's unbelievable. I mean, I just can't. I'm frustrated. The where I'm at today. I mean, I love being back home, and I love being in the industry here. At the same time, I want to be back in LA.
Where it's all happening.
And London is just going off the charts. People are, wherever I go, people always say, "What's it like here? What was it like there?" So, for instance, in London, they're keen to hear about what's it like here in Sydney.
Yeah.
And as the locals say, what's it like over there? And I've got to say, there's no difference in terms of, the vitality, the enthusiasm, the word possibility. Anything's possible. It's the same in all places. London, in particular, and I'm an ex-Londoner myself. I'm completely blown away at what I've seen going on over there in a place called Shoreditch, which is right next to the centre of London. It is phenomenal. Capital. Enthusiasm.
Okay, give us details. Come on, man. What do you like? What do you like in the look of over there?
Well, it's quite interesting because traditionally, in my opinion, London's kind of been conservative to a point, and it's always been very much a banking centric part of the world. What's really interesting is out of the Olympic Games over there, there's been this emergence of old and new real estate. And it's kind of like you've got the bank vaults right there.
Yeah.
So you've got all this capital, and then you've got all these startups, but they're actually right next door to one another.
Nice.
So Shoreditch is right next to trillions of dollars of cash.
And there's a bit of money running around London.
There's money. There's money.
There's huge developments in London at the moment. They have huge amount of building and infrastructure going up at the moment.
Phenomenal. And prices. I mean, it's pretty expensive living here in Sydney, but London is just off the chops of £700,000-800,000 for an apartment, and the reason why this is all happening is because of the excitement. There's just all this excitement. There's a lot of Americans now living in London, so I'm surprised at how many people love London.
Well, let's talk about startups. Who did you meet, and what are the startups that really got you excited in that space?
So what I do is, I've got friends dotted all over the place with incubators and startups, and it's usually come to drinks and come to talks and this, that, and the other, and I just rock in there and start talking.
It's a tough life.
Essentially connecting and networking and so on. Nothing specifically stands out in terms of one particular startup over another. I've just seen so many. I just can't say enough about. You see one thing this week, and next week they're already coming up with a new solution on a startup that actually hasn't happened. That's kind of what's happening.
Yes.
But I'm starting to notice now a lot more collaboration taking place globally, and also some incredible. TV and so on. Like what you're trying to do here. There's some tremendously powerful learnings that are coming from TV, which connect you specifically to startups. So the taxi industry. I mean,
taxi is huge.
Uber is. I don't think it's. Uber. People know Uber is a huge disruption to the taxi industry, and to me, it's not about the taxi industry. It's about the fact is. The taxi industry has been part of what I call very much a part of the friction economy, which was all about resistance to keeping competitors out. And there's this new conversation that we talk about in the technology world, which is called the liquid economy. So the liquid economy is like getting rid of all the barriers to entry and getting rid of all the regulation and so on. It's kept people out, which is simply the reason why, and I can understand why. Taxi drivers are obviously really cheesed off. I would be.
Yeah.
And so they should be. But
invest a lot of money into that.
But sitting behind it is there's enormous amounts of compliance and old rules and regulations that, really they've got nothing to do with customers. And which brings me to, what am I really noticing is I'm noticing a big focus now on the new customer economy. People are getting really, really, really excited about serving customers.
Cool.
In the United States, I hear this all the time. How can we provide more and more value? Like Amazon have done. Amazon have built an enormous, almost like a country with masses of new verticals, to the point where an entrepreneur, and I know entrepreneurs who are running their entire business sitting on the back of Amazon's infrastructure. I mean, it's truly incredible what they've achieved, and it's still never made any money.
Yeah,
That's the amazing thing about Amazon. They still haven't made any money, but they've built an incredible business model.
So, I mean, they're only losing about 500 million a quarter
something
at
like
the
that.
moment.
But the reason is because they keep acquiring more and more and more of the new economy. So
tell us, what did you learn when you were over there? Whether it was Asia or America or the UK, that you think Australian startups should be implementing or thinking about when they're building a startup?
Well, one thing that's become really present, which was brought about by this last trip, is in starting up a business, it's all about the composition of your board. All about that. Okay. It's not about having 100% or 50% or I've got to have 51%. I would say to people, it's all about having people who have been there, done that. If you haven't had people on your board who've done exits, I probably would invest in you, not because you're a bad person, but ultimately it's all about how can we build this thing and pass it on to serve more customers, because that's what the business is all about.
If it's not serving customers, it's not a business.
Absolutely, yeah. But this, in the United States, they've become really good at it. It's all about having the right people. If you have the right people, for instance, if you had Sean Parker, who we all know who Sean Parker is, so
your success rate's a lot higher.
Totally, you'll get the money, and you're going to have the advisory board to keep you on track.
So for those startups out there that are serious about taking their startup to the next level, or you have an idea, maybe what you need to start thinking about is who's sitting on your board, who do they look like, what can they achieve, what can they do to your business, because owning 100% of nothing is...
That's stupid. I don't want to own 100% of anything. I want to be part of something that's
special,
serving customers and can add value and has an exit strategy.
There you go. And to do that, you're more than likely going to need a good board. People like Chris Wakeford and other people out there can probably help you on that. But the big learning here, people, is bringing the right people, putting the right people on your bus.
Totally, absolutely. And learning, because the interesting thing about the startup industry, we're serial entrepreneurs, which is a disease to itself, which is, it's like, how can I get out of this one to make way for the next one? It's always going to happen.
Cool.
So
there you go. Make sure you connect with Chris Wakeford, and great way to learn about the industry, learn what's coming next, and how you can build your startup. Because let me tell you, having people like Chris Wakeford around you will make you a lot more successful in your business. Come on, man. You know it's true. And Startup Alleyway, that's right here. We share the secrets to startup industry and how you can build your startup and take it to the next level. Make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for a lot more great videos coming up. And we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thanks, Sean.
Cheers, buddy.